Hey, my friend, Adam here. Have you ever noticed how some businesses attract clients effortlessly, while others with amazing offers can't seem to get any traction? It's not that your service isn't valuable. The problem is, most people fall into what I call the tactic trap, chasing the latest marketing tactic without understanding the why and the reasoning and the strategy behind it. Over the past 10 years, I've helped thousands of business owners break out of that trap by focusing on what actually drives human behavior. Because once you understand the psychology behind why people buy and choose one offer over another, you can start crafting messages and marketing and offers that truly connect and convert. And that's when sales start to feel almost effortless. So in this video, I'm going to share with you 5 powerful psychological marketing principles that you can use today and that top brands and businesses are already using to attract clients and increase trust and boost conversions without needing to post more or work harder. And to start, I want to share a quick story about a ship that you know and an iceberg you don't, and a marketing mistake that sunk more businesses than you'd believe. All right, so you and I both know of the Titanic, right? The unsinkable ship that sank on its very first voyage. Now, people remember it hitting an iceberg, but what most people miss is that it wasn't the tip of the iceberg that caused the disaster, the obvious part that everybody can see. What actually sank the ship was the part of the iceberg that was hidden deep below the water's surface. And that's where the lesson is for your business. You see, most people obsess over the visible, flashy stuff, the latest social media trends and viral ad tactics and shiny new tools. It's all surface level, tip of the iceberg stuff. But the real success or failure isn't driven by what you see above the water. It's the deeper, hidden elements, the psychological triggers that influence every single customer's and client's decision. See, that's where the real game is played. Imagine for a second that your marketing strategy is an iceberg. Now, the part above the water, that's the tools and tactics everyone talks about, the ads, social media, trendy hacks, things like that. But below the surface lies the core, the psychological principles that guide human behavior. If you're only focusing on the top, the tricks and hacks, then you're like the captain of the Titanic, too distracted by what's visible to notice the real danger and real opportunities hidden below the surface. And that's a big problem because the human brain, and yes, if anyone asks, that is a brain, well, it really hasn't evolved that much in the past 10,000 years or so, and it's still hardwired primarily for 3 things: seeking pleasure, avoiding pain, and conserving energy. So, if your marketing doesn't connect with these instincts, no amount of fancy tactics or tools are going to be able to save you. I mean, you wouldn't toss ketchup into your cookie recipe just because some online influencer said it works, right? That's tip of the iceberg stuff. The real power in marketing lives below the surface, in the psychology that's quietly steering every decision that your customers and clients make. And when you tap into that, you stop relying on superficial tricks and you start playing to win. But if you don't, no trend, no tactic, no tool out there is going to save you from sinking. Fun fact, your brain is hit with over 10,000 marketing messages every single day, from ads and notifications to billboards and emails. It's completely overwhelming. So how does your brain handle it all? Well, it uses shortcuts called cognitive biases. And these mental shortcuts decide what grabs your attention and what gets ignored. The same works for your customers and clients. So let's break down some of the most powerful biases and how you can use them to connect with your clients and your customers on a deeper level, starting with the halo effect. Imagine walking into a coffee shop for the first time. The lights are warm, the menu is clean, the music's just right, and the barista greets you by name, which is totally weird because you've never been there before. So for a second, you start to wonder, am I famous, or is this a Truman Show situation? But instead of questioning reality, your brain just goes, this place is amazing. Well, that is the halo effect in action. It's when one good detail, like a polished vibe or a friendly welcome or someone knowing your name, triggers a cascade of assumptions. Clean storefront means they must care about quality. Cool looking logo means they're probably a legit business. Confident speaker means they must know what they're doing. And this matters because your marketing is that first moment. It's your brand walking into the room, shaking hands, and making an impression that hopefully sticks around for a long time. Whether it's your website, your ad, your profile picture, or your opening sentence, this is what sets the tone for everything else that your future customers and your future clients are going to believe about you, good or bad. And here's the kicker. Research shows us that people form lasting opinions in under a second. Once they're decided, they're going to go out of their way to keep believing it, even if new information suggests otherwise. That means if your first impression is pro, your audience keeps giving you the benefit of the doubt. But if it's clunky or confusing or off-brand, you've got a serious mountain to climb. So the question is, how do you get this right? Well, for starters, your first touch points, whether it's your website or social media profiles or your landing pages, they've got to be polished and clear and designed to create instant trust. I'm talking high quality visuals and sharp messaging and clean layouts. If you're on video, you need good lighting and sound. Now, you don't need a Hollywood level budget, just intentional design and a little bit of clarity. Not to mention, a little bit of good lighting and a half decent microphone go a really long way. Here's something simple but powerful. Pretend that someone's hearing about you and your business for the first time. Well, what's the first thing that they see or hear? And what feeling does that give them? Is it trust? Confidence? Confusion? If you're still not sure, don't be afraid to ask a few people outside of your inner circle. Just give them 5 seconds on your website or your profile and ask, what's your first impression? Their gut reaction is going to tell you if that halo effect is helping or hurting, because make no mistake, the halo effect is happening. The only question is, are you using it to your advantage? Okay, next, the bandwagon effect. Have you ever walked past 2 restaurants and noticed that one is packed while the other is completely empty, and you instinctively head toward the busy one? Well, that's the bandwagon effect. We trust what other people already trust because our brains are wired to follow the crowd. This isn't laziness, it's efficiency. If everyone else likes it, it must be good, right? And in marketing, this is pure gold. So here's how you use it. You want to put social proof everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Your website, your emails, your ads, your landing pages, stack them with testimonials and reviews and user content and happy customer screenshots. Show people that they're not the first ones to trust you. They're joining something that's already popular and already proven. And here's a really quick tip. Try to add a customer love section to your homepage. Just a simple strip with some photos and quotes and maybe a real quick stat like 10,000 plus happy clients. Now, this doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be visible because in today's world, people don't have time or interest and are not doing a ton of deep research. They're basically scanning. And if they see that other people like them are already saying this place is legit, you've already won half the battle before they've even read your pitch. Okay, next up, anchoring. Imagine for a second you're shopping for a jacket and you see one marked down from $500 to $299. Instantly feels like a deal, even if $299 is still pretty steep. Well, that's the anchoring effect. Your brain locks onto the first number it sees and then it uses that as a reference point for everything that comes after. Now here's the craziest part. Anchoring works even when you know it's happening. For example, right now, I'm going to anchor you. This handmade Fog and Fire ceramic mug is worth $200. This is the kind of mug you reach for before your phone. It's handmade by me in my Vancouver Island studio. The Seafire mug is made for slow mornings, strong coffee, and whatever ritual starts your day. It's balanced, familiar, built for comfort, and the glaze is inspired by coastal skies and quiet fog rolling over driftwood shores. Each mug takes days to complete and is made one at a time. No two are exactly the same. That's the point. And today, it's yours for only $95 over at fogandfire.com. Now, full disclosure here, I'm not trying to sell you a mug, as these are already sold out and they pretty much always are. But if you keep an eye out, you'll notice that I use this all the time on my sales pages, like when I drop the headline, the $1 million question, right before I reveal the price. Total Anchor works like magic. And it's not just about price. Any number can anchor people. Tell someone you've worked with 1,000 clients before you mention your price, and that 1,000 number becomes the frame that they start to evaluate everything else through. So, how do you apply this? Well, quite simply, don't lead with the actual price. Lead with a higher reference point first, the market average, your premium offer, or the total value of what's included. Then drop your real offer afterward. It'll feel like a deal even if the price hasn't changed at all. And if you've got multiple packages and multiple price points, then always present the most expensive one first. This sets the bar high and makes every other option feel more affordable in comparison. Seriously, this one shift alone can double your conversions. So anchor high, then let your real offer feel like a steal. Okay, next up, the mirror exposure effect, which is easily one of my favorites of all time. So here's how it works. You know those songs you didn't even like at first, but after hearing them 5 times, they're suddenly stuck in your head and you're humming along? Well, that's the mirror exposure effect in action. The more that we hear or see something, the more that we start to trust and to like it, just because it's familiar. Your clients and your customers' brains work the exact same way. Repetition builds trust. To use it, all you need to do is stay consistently visible. Show up in their feed, in their inbox, on their recommendations list, not in a spammy way, but in a familiar, oh hey, I know that brand kind of way. Also, especially if you're just getting started, make sure to repurpose your best content, which is a total time saver. That killer LinkedIn post, turn it into a video. That video, chop it into shorts and reels and stories and tweets and email snippets. The goal is to say something different every single time. It's just to say the right thing enough times that it sticks. And here's why this matters. When your customers and your clients are finally ready to make a decision, they're going to choose the name that they've seen again and again. Not because it was the flashiest, but because it feels safe. And familiarity is trust. And trust is what drives sales. Okay, now it's time to talk about FOMO, another powerful tool in your psychology toolbox. Okay, let's talk about one of the strongest forces in human psychology, We hate losing more than we love winning. It's not even close. In fact, the pain of loss hits about twice as hard as the joy of gain. That's why FOMO, the fear of missing out, is such a powerful motivator in marketing. If people think that they might miss out on something good, they tend to act fast. So, how do you use this one? Well, really simple. You want to create urgency. Let them know that there's a limited number, a deadline, a one-time offer. Add a countdown timer, say only a few spots left, or doors close Friday at midnight. That little sense of scarcity and urgency nudges people to move. Now, one very, very important note here. You want to keep it honest. Do not fake urgency. Don't say there's 5 spots left when you've got 500. That kind of scarcity is going to get you the sale today, but lose your trust forever. Instead, you want to be real. If your offer ends Friday, it ends Friday. If you've got 50 seats, show that. Ethical urgency still triggers action and builds trust at the same time. People are wired to move when they sense something slipping away, so don't just talk about what they're going to gain, highlight what they'll also miss if they wait too long. Okay, now let's put this all into practice. Let me show you how you can use these principles to build a marketing plan that's not just tactical, but also strategic, and one that aligns with the psychology of your customers and clients using something I call the marketing hierarchy. All right. Let's zoom out for a second here, because if you've ever felt like you're doing all the right things, posting content, running ads, tweaking your website, but you're still not getting the results that you want, the problem probably isn't what you're doing, it's where you're operating in the marketing hierarchy. Most people start at the bottom, and most get stuck there. So let's break it down. I want you to picture your marketing like a pyramid with 4 levels. Level 1 is tricks and hacks. This is the base, and it's where the internet lives. Post at this time, use this trending audio, change this button color. Now, these can help, but they're kind of like strapping rockets to a bicycle. I mean, sure, it's fast, but it's not built to last. And if you rely on these tricks and tactics alone, your results are likely to spike and then crash and then spike and then crash over and over again. Level 2, we've got tactics. Here we're talking about real marketing moves, running email campaigns and posting on social and building funnels. These are solid, but here's the problem. They're often disconnected. You've got a great Instagram strategy, but your website's all over the place. Or your email sequence is really strong, but your lead magnet super broad and generic. It's like trying to bake a cake with ingredients from 6 different recipes. It's just going to taste wrong. Level 3, strategy. This is where things start to click. You're no longer just doing tactics. You're aligning them. Your content, your email, your ads, your offers all work together to guide your audience through a journey. Now you're building momentum instead of just constantly resetting things from square one every single day. But here's where the real magic happens. Level 4, psychology. This is the peak, the top of the pyramid, when you start aligning your entire strategy with how your customers' and clients' brains actually work. And when you do this, everything changes. You're not just creating content, you're triggering instinctive reactions. You're not just writing headlines, you're speaking directly to primal motivators like safety and status and belonging and reward, and those 3 brain things we talked about earlier, like avoiding pain and seeking pleasure and conserving energy. And here's the best part. When your marketing strategy is built on psychology, kind of starts to feel effortless, both for you and for your clients and customers, because people get what you're saying and they trust you faster, and they convert with way less resistance. In fact, years ago, a joint study was done by Adaptly, Facebook, and Refinery29 that found that marketing campaigns that were structured around a sequenced psychological journey increased content consumption by 87% and conversions increased by 56%, just by changing how the message was delivered, not even changing the message itself. So if you're stuck, don't ask, what else can I try? Ask, what level am I playing at? Because tactics without strategy is noise, and strategy without psychology is just smart guessing. And if you want to build a business that people naturally trust and want to buy from, then you need to start climbing the pyramid. So to help you do that, I've got 2 things for you. The first is instant access to a free course and marketing training, as well as a free trial of the software that I use for all my marketing. Fully loaded and pre-installed with all of my top performing campaigns and funnels and scripts and everything. You can find that in the descriptions below this video. And the next thing I've got for you is a video that I've got linked up right here that's going to give you even more of my best marketing strategies to help you get more leads, more customers, more sales, and grow your business or any business that you apply these strategies to. So feel free to tap or click that now, and I'll see you again in just a second.